Okay, good people. So we got another video ending this particular series. Please check out the other videos that speak about what we have been discussing, which is cybersecurity, different investments and opportunities is going on the continent of Africa. Many different countries are involved. The U.S. Companies or U.S. companies are also seeking investment in those opportunities. So check out those videos that I've just spoke on previously. And also we're speaking about just scams and unfortunate situations that can happen. We talked about safety in the country that my directors are a part of in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, East Africa, by the name of Wakazi Holdings Limited. That is the company that is sponsoring the Wakazi United podcast, which is what you are tuned in today. So welcome. This is JE3, your host, and we are here for the people, by the people. And you want to know why? Because it's in the name. That's why. So I appreciate y'all for joining in. This video here, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw this a while back, is a little lengthy. She talks very quickly. For those who may not be of African descent or even possibly Caribbean descent, because sometimes they're not the same accent, but they may be able to recognize certain distinguishing consonants and vowel pronunciations with how she's going to break this down. But she's speaking on, I believe, WhatsApp fraud, and this is a big one here because from my previous banking experience from some years back, I know how money transfers and how scammers can definitely cause your account to hallucinate and you thinking that your funds are there when they're really not. But she's going to break this down. So let's see how she discovered that this was not legitimate, and she almost lost some money, but thankfully she didn't lose that or her own mind, because sometimes that happens too. So let's get into it.
Here, if I wasn't careful, I would have lost 10,250,000 naira on top say one sale market.
So she said naira. This let's see, locals. This probably is Nigeria, but I'm not 100% sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably will check the comments just to make sure. But yeah, so she's saying how much she lost. That sounds like a whole lot of money. I'm not sure how the exchange works, but yeah, I you know, when you're a retailer, like she got a lot of inventory in the back, you know, you're a vendor, man, you know, those supplies are costly. You know, that could be a whole week, a whole month, you know, sometimes several months, depending on what your contract is. And I think this was a new person that she was networking with that said they had a good deal, so she was curious. But you know, as I say, curiosity kills the cat. You know, but she found the satisfaction, brought it back, and when it comes to realizing that this was something very nefarious, so I'm gonna not interrupt her. I'm gonna let her go through that ordeal, and we'll see if we can learn a little something from this, and also take precaution as well.
Let me give you guys story time. So I was on my own, customer messaged as usual. Now they want to buy food stuff on WhatsApp. He said he wanted 100 kegs of 25-liter King's oil, 100 cartons of golden penny spaghetti, I think 50 or 70 cartons of golden penny 500-gram twist. So all these things, bulk order. Now I was happy. My staff had to push it to me like, I'm take care of bulk order in case you're giving them discount. The customer message, I think the conversation lasted for 2 or 3 days, I can't remember. And cut long story short, the total of the items is 10,250,000 naira. Said they need it for church, within Christian Church of God. I said no problem, they want to disburse it. Okay, make full payment or come to the store. He said no, that he will come to the shop and, you know, pick up the items after making payment. I didn't have a problem with that. People used to make full payment before sending someone to come for pickup. So they now sent 10 million naira. He first of all sent me a bank slip. I'll be putting it out here. You can see it. I'll attach all these files. He sent this bank slip like the person went to bank, deposited 10 million to my account as they claimed. I saw it. I said, I'm here to receive your payment. I'll check as soon as I receive. I'll let you know. Funny enough, I was driving, then I think around 4 or 5 p.m. again, person sent another message that the money has gone through. As the person sent the message, I received alert. My staff was with the phone.
So let's pause here because she has some receipts that she's showing here, and when they talk about the transaction went through. So the first thing I want to note, like she says, she had a big bulk order. She said different cartons of different bulk items that she sells at that she sells to other clients. So she's probably a wholesaler, which is really cool. I love wholesaling that because it's a B2B exchange, that's business to business, other than a B2C, which is business to customer. I am a self-taught copywriter for B2B and B2C marketing, so I'm always interested in those type of exchanges. And so basically she was saying that for those who may not be familiar with the accent, she was just saying that, yeah, this customer, came and pretty much made a bulk order, and they were saying they wanted to pick it up at the store. She said no problem, and so in advance they sent the money, and so they showed a bank receipt saying, hey, I sent the money to you, it's in your account. She said, well, I have not yet received it, but then a text message stated that, hey, some money was deposited, and you can kind of see, I don't know if I can let me see if there's a way I can zoom in. This is a different format. No, I'm on the different one here, y'all. But let's see. It just kind of speaks on what the her account information. Not anything she blocked out. Which is good, smart on her. Well, then there was an account number. I'm not sure if that's exactly the same of like private information, but showing what the balance is. So it says available balance on that in that text message. Interesting. I'm a little bit more on that from my personal experience, but I'm gonna let her elaborate. But it's just putting things into perspective. All right, you let it go. Continue.
If the like 10 million, she was happy. Ma, we have closed the large quantity today. Oh. So she wanted to write payment received with thanks. I said, no, Chere Godi, let me check my balance. Chere, let me pack. So I slowed down. Thank God I was in traffic. I slowed down. I checked my account balance. The money in my balance before the payment was 3 million. The account I gave to the customer, I had 3 million 800 and something K, blah, 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 blah. So the balance was still 3 million something. I said, I got to my friend's place that I was going. I now told my friend that somebody made payment. I don't know what is wrong with GT Bank. That I received alerts. So I should check my app. I opened my bank app. I checked. I saw the transaction on my bank app, on my transaction history. But my account balance, how do I explain? The transaction is there on my transaction history. I received SMS alerts, but on my account balance, it didn't do. Do you understand? It's still my previous balance that was still in my account balance.
So what she's describing is different banks have different terminology. From my banking experience, I'm not going to name what bank I worked with or for. You have your current balance, and then you have your available balance. And those may sound the same from a linguistic standpoint, but not from a banking standpoint. Your current balance is not necessarily, well, your current balance normally, or should I say, is not going to always be the same as your available balance. It represents your previous balance. So you will see, for example, let's say somebody sent you $50 and you only had $100 in your account. So your current balance is still going to show $100. Your available balance is going to show probably $150. Now, why that's important is because there is a pending notion that's going on. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what she's seeing. She's saying, okay, I see that the money was sent, but it doesn't seem to be really reflecting that it was sent, because it's still showing that I only have this amount in there when it should be that plus whatever was sent. Now, this is how a lot of these scams work. I'm going to let her elaborate on this, and I'll give my commentary after that, but that's just so you can kind of see like, I've had this happen. I've had something pending. You normally see this sometimes when you're depositing a check. and the check may allow you to utilize it, i.e., it's available for you to utilize, but it may not be current or i.e. up to date. So if you're following where I'm going with this, continue.
My friend, I said, oh, yeah, try and make transfer to me. I now made transfer of 800,000 to that my friend. I said, Mama Maraya, take this 800k because I wanted to pay her. Ma, see whether, let me see if the transaction will be like reshuffle. My balance will reshuffle to 30 million something. I sent 800k to Mama Mara. My balance was 3 million something. That was when I knew that something fishy was going on. And I told the person that I received a lot, but it has not cleared on my balance. I now called my account officer. The phone I was calling with, it wasn't going through. Thank God I was able to reach her on WhatsApp. And this day was Friday evening. So he said they are coming 8 a.m. on Saturday to come and carry the market so that they will arrange it, that they are sharing it in church on Sunday. Me will be saying most people don't scam me. Last 2 years Ramadan, me will learn the hard way. So I now tell I cannot.
She's funny, man. She got a whole lot of energy. But she's saying she got a financial advisor. It's great to have people who handle your money for you. Don't be so prideful and thinking like, oh yeah, I'm good with money, I don't need nobody to help me out, things like that. Like, this is where people come in. Let them handle your light work. This is business 101 when you have it. Not everybody has the means, the resources, but a lot of this stuff is it's a given. If you you do business banking and things like that, you can always hit them up because they're working with you. So that's part of their job in most cases. It's not really an extra expense. But if you have the money to get you an actual financial advisor or some type of secretary of finance or something like that on your team, beautiful.
Release good, so let me confirm from my account officer. I called my account officer. She was able to do the best. God will bless you so much, ma. The woman did her best from her end. She checked, she logged into my, she said yes that she's seen the transaction in my account right now, but the money is not in my balance. Then she now called me again, and in fact I let her close from shop, me and my staff. I took them to Cubana. I went out. I didn't know that my account officer was trying to reach because I plugged my phone in the car. I came back to my phone. My account officer have already sent me voice message. I've missed like 4 of her calls. She now sent me voice message. I will play it here. Esther, no need to put her voice out. She was not telling me that she was able to do her own diggings and called, I don't know who she called, that their account, that's like the account they are supposed to debit and credit me, that there's every tendency that there's no money in the account because it was a check that the person cleared, and I think he said it's onward clinical. I don't know the bank terms for this word, but it means I cannot receive the money till the next day, and that next day now is Saturday, Sunday. They don't count. Weekends does not count. So it's till either Monday evening or Tuesday that I'll receive this payment, and I should not release my goods until I confirm the payment. I was not telling my account officer that just do your best. I don't want to disappoint my customer. Me, I can supply them this market. Just confirm to me that alert that is already in my account, the money will clear. Because the reason I was still believing the customers is because my POS, this GT squad kiniko, if I use card, if customers use card to pay me, it doesn't clear in my balance until the next day, like after 24 hours. All the POS transaction will clear into my account. So I felt maybe it's the same thing. So I'm like, just confirm with me that this thing will clear in my account, then I'll go.
So what she's describing, so she's saying a couple of different things. Basically, she found out that this was a check. Checks are like number one for scams, and it's not to say that checks are a bad thing. You shouldn't receive any checks, but it's that checks are still part of the old world, and I mean literally the old world. When they say checks and balances, that's an ancient term. And the thing is, when they say write a check that you can't cash, what's even worse is when they can deposit a check from another account where the money's not in that account. And in that mindset, they may allow you to receive a certain amount of funds from it, or they may hold it, like put a hold till they can confirm that the funds are actually available for you to receive it. So when she's trying to refer to, well, I've had situations where sometimes people make debit or credit transactions and it comes back a little bit later, that might be the same thing. It's in itself similar, but the difference is that it's a much quicker process because you're dealing with digital currency exchange via a card. And so there's just communication in the background between the merchants versus a check where it's pretty much the closest thing to that would be an e-check where you write, your account number and routing number that would be on a physical check, and then you send it that way. And to where it's saying, hey, I'm taking directly from the money that's supposed to be in my account and saying that I'm giving it to this bank as that transfer to their account. But if the money's not there, i.e., it will bounce. Now, I don't want to, I'm going to let her finish because to kind of speak on a little bit more because this is a very, very common thing. But I like how, she tries to keep the whole customer service relationship. She said, I had previous customers where things, came back a little bit later. So I get it. I understand. Sure. But this is a whole different ball game, and I think I don't think she found out the hard way. She's being very smart and courteous about this.
Go ahead and supply. She was warning me, hold on. Go so kind I listen to her. Or me maybe say, I'm a very careful person anyways. I will check everything. If you want to do this business and you're not careful and you're not strong, Kwechiri, I pity you because you're gonna I'm laughing and talking about this now because it's over a week. Okay, it's a week since it happened and I'm kind of getting over it. But it wasn't funny. Now, somebody that paid over 10 million to my account, when I now told the person, I forwarded my account officer's voice note to that customer. I said, sir, I cannot release market to you. I don't know why Kiliko. Except you're going to make another payment or you're going to buy elsewhere. I'll refund you if I get the money. That one is not a problem. He did not say anything. The man did not respond. No response at all. I will send 10 million to somebody. The person will not receive the payment. The person, I will not relax. I know money is hard to come by and I know some people have a lot of money, but then again, 10 million is not small now. I was expecting the customer to be, but he was so relaxed. I said, okay, maybe this one is a legit transaction. Cut long story short, on Monday, after my account officer told me that the check, that there's every tendency that the accounts that they are supposed to debit and credit me will be empty. So there's no way. So even if, as I've received a lot, that I'll get another debit. On Monday, na debit alert I get. See the receipt here. Na debit alert I saw. Imagine I had gone and supplied them because I saw Redeemed Christian Church of God, Kiniko, Apapa. Even an account officer again, another banker from Apapa Bank, had to call me last week, telling me, oh, we saw how the transaction, Kiniko. I said, sir, they tried to scam me, oh. Yes, I will just put up my evidence. That's it. If you're a business person, be cool. Don't let go of your goods anyhow because one person is buying. They will whine you, but no panic. As long as I did not confirm, and for all of you that intend to scam in the future, or all of you that are impersonating me, as long as I did not receive that money in my own account, in the company account, it's not even a personal account, it's a limited liability registered company account. If I did not receive my money, they carry anything. Yes, come and drag me online. I'll drag you back like a generator.
So at the end, I think she got a little too excited. You can hear, she kind of putting her hand over the speaker, so it got a little muffled. But basically, like she said, long story short, the check wasn't legitimate. The transaction was legitimate. I guess this conversation happened via WhatsApp, so that's why she's relating it as a WhatsApp scam. I believe that's what she's speaking on. Here's the thing. When people scam, yes, they're very calm because they know what they're doing. They're not supposed to panic. And she even said prior that it was like 3 days of a conversation before they even got to this point. So you're thinking, like, wow, they spent 3 days, because you're thinking scammers are desperate, that, oh, I got to do it now, or I'm getting nervous, or it's like time is essence. No, scammers are calculated. Okay, they really take their time. They've studied their victims. They know how these things work. And the thing is, if you are probably one of many that they might have been working on at one time. That's the crazy part. The other thing is that when she said that they were going to come and grab the merchandise and bring it back, or she said I may have to refund you the money. The thing is, if she would have tried to refund the money, she would have actually paid them because they never had any money to begin with. So that's two sides of the coin that would have worked. They either would have, she would have been generous in trying to refund something that wasn't there, or let's say she rushed and took her money. Let's say she had that amount in her account and gave it back to them, thinking that it was going to clear in the end. You should never do that. You never move money that has not cleared. Period. This is just, I don't want to call this a simple lesson, but some people, especially when you deal with delayed transactions and everything's instantaneous. But once you heard that it was a check, that's when you stop and you let the bank do its magic. And that sounds like what the bank did. Here's the other thing. Apparently, the check must have been written off of the same bank. Because, see, a lot of times if the bank cannot go into the system and know what the account is, they're already putting a hold to do some conversations. So there's a conversating, rather, with the other bank to which that check was written off of. If it's the same, then they can go into the account. They'll know, oh, the money's not there. Hence, what she heard, the first person she spoke with, and said, hey, the money's not here. Maybe they're waiting to get a transfer or something like that, which it's a little odd because it depends on what time the check was written. But she did say that this happened during the weekend. So there's that. I'll say this. This is where it goes back to what we were saying, what I was mentioning earlier. What I was mentioning earlier about cybersecurity and things like that. In the continent, or on the continent of Africa, is that these things are still a little new for not just the countries but the people, who are vendors and in the markets. And so these scammers are taking advantage of what you do not know. Here in the States, most people understand that checks, some people don't even like taking checks because of stuff like that. And when I say taking checks, I also mean when you deposit, things like that. And a lot of business owners are pretty savvy in knowing, like, okay, if there's a delay, they probably put something deposited was in the bank. It could be a check, it could be a money order, it could be a cashier's check from another banking industry entity or something like that. And so they don't move anything. And so what this person was trying to do was say they sent the money, play on her good spirit, walk up, take the merchandise, the check bounce, and they just got thousands of dollars worth of merchandise off of her pretty much for free, and they'll be selling it on the black market at her own expense, and she has to take a loss for that. So thankfully she was able to take her time, listen to different people, not rush because it sounded good, probably like, oh wow, this is a great opportunity. And they talk about a church, so her defenses were low because they were using the Lord's name in vain. Hey buddy, that's a tough one right there. But this is what people do. So I bring this to in conclusion, or to close, that some people, they get there are foreigners who you come to the country that get scammed. There are people who get scammed by foreigners. There are people who are scammed by their own brothers and sisters in their own backyard. You just have to be vigilant. You have to learn the game. And one of the biggest takeaways of a lot of this is patience. Not all everything that glitters isn't gold, as this person says. Not all money is good money, and a lot of these things could be avoided with time and research. The woman that we saw earlier talked about land and things like that. Slow down. You don't get that type of, you don't move like that here in your own backyard. And this is something that you really need to understand. If you don't do it where you're from, why do you feel the need to do it when you're somewhere else? Let's use some common sense once again. If you know that it's a process to purchase land, I'm not saying what you go through in the process, whether it might be paperwork, lawyers. Like getting land in TZ is different from getting land here in the States, and some by a lot of different requirements, because they have a leasing system of land other than kind of here in the States where you own it outright. However, you still have to pay property taxes, which is like, do you really own it? But their system is different. So I'm not talking about the processing. I'm talking about that it's an asset that you're taking your time to buy or invest in. You take your time with that, no matter where you're at. No matter where you're at, that's not something you rush, because everybody's here to say, "Oh, it's a great deal. Let's do it now." No. And if someone's really pushing it, it might be a red flag. It might be a red flag. So the land, you take your time. Somebody said, "Oh, this is a great investment because Elon Musk did it and all these other people." Do your research. Ooh, I almost dropped my mic, y'all. Do your research. It doesn't matter who does what. One thing that you want to talk about an investor. I remember that Warren Buffett stated a long time ago, when they're talking about, do you feel bad that you didn't invest in Google during the time that Google was still a novel and emerging company during the great digital bubble, the digital revolution, in the early 2000s. And yeah, he probably was like, yeah, that was, will be a good deal. But the thing that he focuses on is, I don't invest in things that I don't understand. You know, you have to be calculated, when you're making investments. If you're moving in desperation, you already failed. And in the case of this young lady, yes, learn the banking system. She did a great job with her checks and balances, trying to understand, is this a good move? What should I do? Why is the money not moving? But still being customer friendly, because you do not know. You don't want to just think, oh, they're trying to scam me and stuff like that. You start treating everybody, with a distrustful mentality. That's not good at all, and that can hurt your brand. But you also hurt your brand if you end up going bankrupt because somebody scammed you out of all your money. So the real lesson on this side of the conversation is patience. Have patience, y'all, no matter where you're going. And as far as anything dealing with the continent, regarding transactions, AI, any type of deal with security and things of that nature, it's gonna be a very interesting future, for not just the kind of Africa, but even here in the West, and I'm going to hold my commentary on how I really feel about AI and like what I really think is going on. Say that for another video. Maybe I'll make a series based off of that, but I'm going to go ahead and shift towards closure and just say once again, y'all, thank you for joining me in this series. This is the first full series. And when I say series, basically what I do is I film a long segment. I chop up the videos in different segments. I film a long series and chop the videos into different segments for you to be able to digest, to further expound on the conversation. And I just want to thank you for allowing us, me and the directors of Wakazi Holding Limited, to be able to bring you this level of entertainment, if you want to call it, information, to give us your time to expound upon things that we think are not just interesting to us, but could be beneficial to you. And with that, I bid you adieu. And if you like what you heard, if you want to make a comment, to express certain things that you want from this channel, feel free to do so. And hey, if you love what you heard, please subscribe. Because there's more to come, there's more to build off of, and we are definitely excited in this endeavor into this project. So I bid y'all farewell, and y'all be safe out there in these scamming streets, whether you're here in the US or over there on the continent of Africa, Europe, Asia. It does not matter, y'all. Take your time, take your time, take your time, and blessings will come in due time. Y'all be easy, take care, and God bless. This is the People United Podcast. We are Wakazi.